Hi there, my name is Hannah Sheremy. This is the What is From Cast podcast on the Podcastica Network.
Hmm? Ah! Oh. And welcome to the show. My name is Alex.
And I'm Lizzie.
And today we have finally done it. It seems like it's been forever that we started this little project, but we are finally on season 2, episode 10, Once Upon a Time. And we had a jam-packed episode from front to end. I mean, we laughed, we cried. It was better than Cats. I don't even know what to say. It's given us a lot of food for thought. It's answered some questions. It's also given us new questions. And then it's also done all sorts of things. But before we start, folks, if you guys are loving the podcast, because as much as we're making it, please don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button, either on the podcast end or on the YouTube end. So if you get that bell every time we have a new episode or new shorts or anything like that, please take advantage of that. So Lizzie, what are your first thoughts on this episode?
I will give you my last thought. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was pretty much a what the fuck kind of moment.
I loved the entire episode, and wow.
Yeah, it definitely had some it definitely tied everything in. We still, like I said, have some questions. We have some new answers. We have some questions for some new answers as well. But the fact is that nobody died.
Yeah.
I was very surprised about that.
Well, I don't really think that there's a lot of plot armor, and maybe I'm wrong. Well, wait a minute. Are you talking about just this episode?
No, I just meant in this episode. I thought somebody was going to die.
Okay. I mean, Tom died.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, nobody died usually. Somebody usually dies at the end of a season, or,
yeah, absolutely. But we weren't even left in real. I mean, we were left in predicaments, but not like someone hanging on a cliff,
right?
You know, where they're
wait, you're right.
One finger left.
One person did die, but he doesn't count because he was a pain in the ass. We're not really going to talk about him. It's like Bruno. But that said, let's go to the happy part of the show, because I think that there's a lot of heaviness to this, and there was a nice bow that was put on this last season, and there was a nice bow that continued for this season. And it's the love between Fatima and Ellis. And we had ourselves a little wedding. And when I say little, it was little.
It was little. And, I loved Ellis's proposal last season. Like only a couple of days have actually happened, that have passed since that proposal. And I loved that proposal. And what I loved even more was this sweet little wedding. I loved that the window in their loft, or whatever it is, the attic, was framed in flowers with the sunlight coming in. And if you remember, back to the beginning, when Fatima's at the window with Julie, and she's like, you look out there and it's hard to believe that, that can be so beautiful while this is so ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And there they are at that window, and it's like windows of possibilities. Like there is goodness in this world. And I I just love it. I loved the whole thing, everything about it. What she said to him, life is a journey through the unknown, and through your eyes and mind, and mine may sometimes deceive you, but your heart will never lie. And that's what her father, one of the things her father used to say. And, you know, and then Boyd is like, there's light in dark places. And that just kind of triggers Boyd, but it was just, you know, she's dressed in this like velour or velvet, whatever that dress was, it probably wasn't hers.
It was, she was hot.
She looked good.
No, she didn't look good, man. She was hot.
I'd have married her. Like,
damn,
like, okay.
girl.
Yeah.
Pega, you were killing it with that.
He was killing it.
She could stop some traffic with that outfit.
And Ellis was looking pretty good too.
They were looking like a very beautiful couple.
Yeah, very beautiful. And basically, their parents were there, his father, and then Donna, who has been there for Fatima. And I loved that it was a small little wedding. It was like, if I ever got married, that would be enough for me. That would be it.
No. That's definitely the way to go. And
you know what? They didn't go into Hawk for it.
They got nothing. They got no money anyways to Hawk.
Talk about a destination wedding.
They're definitely a destination type of wedding. That said, we start with, where is everybody at? And we've got cicadas in the air. And we've got Boyd that starts. It starts out with Boyd at the Lou house, because Julie is in that trance. And I love the fact how Boyd is talking to Kenny, and Kenny wants to be involved. And he's like, and I love this because he basically told Kenny, you know what? You quit. Go away. Go with the other people upstairs. I need to figure some shit out. And you
lost.
What?
You just got this sense that Boyd was lost.
And he just needed to kind of have a hot second to figure out what he needed to do. And the last thing he needed to do was deal with Kenny's little nonsense. And, it's like either you're in or you're out. And I really love that, because this was if and when Harold wins the Emmy, he's going to win the Emmy on this episode. I hate to say it, like it took the 10th episode. I mean, he's had some great speeches, and he said some great stuff, but this episode was really what put it over the top.
To say that I loved this episode would just be saying, like, I don't know, it just isn't strong enough. It's not strong enough for how I felt about it. It was really a great season finale.
Yeah, no, it did what it needed to do. It moved the story enough. It still gave you a little. You're still thirsty for more, a little Home Alone reference, and you had some questions. I mean, could they have done a couple of tweaks here or there? Yeah, probably. But at the same time, I mean, I loved it. I loved it all, and
every second, like they. That whole music box cicada thing, like that could have easily have been a thread to go into the next season. And maybe it is, but like a big question that didn't get answered. But they finished that.
It was kind of an interesting thing, because I maybe I missed it. I mean, I didn't miss it, but I didn't feel the sense of urgency that the characters were, that this was their last day. And because I just
didn't feel it.
I didn't feel it because you know why? I guess I wanted to season 3 so bad.
I
I
know.
just didn't like. I didn't even think about the fact that they were all gonna die, and maybe because we're just so gosh darn invested in this, I was
I
just like,
refuse to believe it.
I'm like, and I know I'm getting killed in the chat because 2 people actually did die. Reggie and the poor bastard that was putting the guns away. The
Yeah.
the red shirt from
Yeah,
Colony
yeah.
House.
I don't.
E-
Donna called him by name, and I didn't catch it.
Exactly. And I'm
I didn't catch it.
sorry. If you want detailed podcasting, we are not exactly the detailed
Or like names, like we're not always getting it, but I forgot what we were talking
but the bottom line is so this is they're yeah, oh my god, sorry, I kind of rambled. So Boyd gets out and he starts talking to Jade, and I love
Yeah.
this little conversation because one thing that Boyd has done this whole episode was he was collecting information the
Yeah.
whole time. And Jade said something that was really kind of interesting. He was, because if you notice, Jade was like clean cut, and by the end of this season, he was like bushy beard.
He was very, very bushy.
Very.
And actually, David Alpay is on Instagram right now.
Is he?
We're missing it,
guys. We're gonna cancel this because we're gonna go watch them now.
Yeah.
No, but no, so he's talking about it, and I love how he says, she should be looking for a prom dress, not lying there. But the thing that the thing that he said that was really important was we don't have 2 pieces to connect.
Yeah.
We don't have the edges.
And who's been calling this the puzzle show?
I don't know. I think it was my podcast partner.
I love that he said that.
It validates the fact that
it's a puzzle.
You actually do know what you're talking about 90% of the time. It's just that 10% that just sucks.
You're being very generous. You're being
so wait,
generous.
folks, I have to tell this story because it's too ironic. So Lizzie happened to be working today, and she was. I almost had to find another podcast partner for today.
Yeah.
Because I was either going to do it alone or I was going to have to get somebody to pitch in. And she sends me these pictures, and I didn't look at it. She's like, "Did you see the picture?" Literally, she had a storm coming home, and there was a tree across the road.
Yeah, I'm going to post it on. I know I'm going to post it on Facebook, but not Facebook, Instagram. But you know what was even kind of funny is that there was it was just me on that road, and then I'm stopped. I wasn't, I was stopped. I was like, is this tree actually there? So I'm like, I have to take a picture. So I'm taking a picture, and then a car starts coming the opposite direction. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Jade and Toby.
It's Jade and Toby.
2 cars are coming today.
Oh God, poor Toby, that bastard. But anyway, so as Boyd is collecting this information today, his first piece was with Jade. Okay. Then he realizes that he needs to go see Sarah. And I love how they keep breaking it up. And I'm going to kind of jump around a little tonight because we're not as organized as we normally are.
Well, because
we both had to work, guys.
Well,
no, we both had to work, and it was just
but I knew I had to work today, and I knew I had a short day yesterday, so we have the screeners, and honest to God, what we have done all season, we have had all the episodes. We could have zipped ahead and known for weeks what what happened in the finale. But Alex and I did not do that.
Except for one time somebody did, but we're not going to remember that.
Oh, no. I mean, that was only the day before the podcast. I didn't go far ahead.
No, you didn't go far ahead.
And, I regretted it. And
you should have.
Yeah, you helped me regret it. But at any rate, um, we didn't watch the next episode until after we podcasted. And so, we were on a mega diet. We have really big willpower. And
I wish I
so,
had more willpower in the rest of my life.
yeah, I
What?
know. So I'm at work. I mean, yesterday I tried to watch the show because what I do is I watch it once right after we podcast.
Right, so do I.
Later in the week, I usually on Sundays I will watch the episode again, and then the third time through, that's when I take my notes. And so I could not. God, everyone's on there. I could not watch it yesterday. I could not get access to the episodes. So I'm at work and I'm like, my kid has one scene. I'll be home early. And nope. I did not get home until just after 8 o'clock. And I'm sitting there. Or was it 9? It might have been closer to 9. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch this episode. I'm going to get the notes done. And the thing about it is my notes consist of 4 colors. This time it's all red.
All right, so let's get back to what we're here for. All red, because we have the corpse collection committee for Randall, and
I loved that.
I love this scene for so many reasons. It's got our 2 favorite people. It's got Liz and her husband Cliff/Dale, and poor Elgin is just like, what the fuck?
Well, at least Donna likes Elgin.
Yes.
At least there's that. So that's good. But no one likes Randall, and they're wondering why they're out there looking. And Donna's like, I wouldn't leave you out here. She says to Dale, I wouldn't leave you out here. I'd come out and get you. I mean, at least as much of a jerk that Randall is, she doesn't want to see him get torn apart.
Well, I think Randall is a little misguided, and he's also a little misunderstood in a way. I mean, you're looking at the whole piece. I mean, the guy's freaking out. I mean, yeah. I mean, he's freaking out because of this whole situation. He had a little, moment of crazy since he got there, and he's just a human just like anybody else.
He's a jerk.
He's a total jerk. He's a total jerk, but he still doesn't need to be left on the side of the road, so to speak.
No. I mean, I would have gone out to get him. I would have gone out to get him. Even if I didn't want to, I would have gone out to get him.
And they found out real quick that he's not dead, but he's not dead.
You know what? Someone this week somewhere said that Paula might have still been alive.
No.
I mean, I don't know how she could have been, but they said they saw it, and I never had time to go back and look. But the thing about it is that now we know for certain.
They talked about burying her.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe she died later. I don't know. I never went back to look, so I don't know. But it was very clear by the end of the episode that the 3 were Randall, Julie, and Marielle. That maybe Paula was.
See, and that's the one thing that I got an issue with. Just with the storyline is, was that foreshadowing? What was that? Like, what was Paula's death in terms of the bigger story? Because it sounded like she should have been one of the 3, but clearly she wasn't, because she wasn't chained up and she was dead.
She was dead. Maybe it was to just make you wonder.
Well, yeah.
Just
and
not settle that.
I'm going to tell you right now, and I know we've kind of talked about this before. After talking to my wife, she's a big Lost fan, and she told me it has a lot of patterns, obviously, with the writer and director. But something, I think there's more red herrings than not. And it's not a debate in terms of what's a red herring and what isn't. I'm just saying, I think that certain things are just there. Like, we never talked about the dates because they were never brought up. Remember
No,
how
no, we did talk about the
my
dates.
point being is it's a separate storyline that isn't really, it's relevant, but we're not sure where it all fits just yet.
Right.
I mean, there's people out there that have some conspiracy theory-ish type theories, and that's fine, and that's wonderful, and I'm all for that. But my point being is, right now, those dates are not in play in the larger picture right now.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, in the story that we had, which is season 2. That's my point.
Right. I mean,
the
last time we saw them was 1.
Right,
when
and we saw the
dream.
bottles, and I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that's there. I'm not saying that it's not important, folks. By no means am I saying it's not important. I'm just saying that there's a lot of stuff that can happen.
Hold on a second. Help me remember. Now, we know that, I mean, when Boyd and Sarah were out in the woods, didn't they see the bottle tree? They saw the bottle tree, right?
Yeah, they saw the bottle tree first. That's where we
Right.
first saw the bottle tree.
No, wait a minute. When Jade and Jim were out at that tree trying to put the antenna up higher, weren't there bottles hanging from the tree? I could be wrong. I know, or
I don't
was it dead
remember.
bodies?
I don't remember.
Might have been dead bodies.
Yeah, I think it was. It was. I think it was dead bodies.
Okay. So you got the body tree and the bottle tree.
We got the body tree, and we got we've got different trees going on here. And no, but my point being, yeah, it's different trees. But again, it just comes down to, they may come back into play, some of this stuff, but right now they're not. And yeah, and it was bodies. Yeah, I remember it was bodies. But you know, the point being is, we had a couple of different things going on, a couple of different red herrings. Whether you believe in the Chromanacle, or you believe in the mole, or you believe in neither of it, or you believe in both of it, you know, I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying that there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
There's definitely a lot going on.
And I think that this is long haul stuff. You've got to be willing to play the long game.
It's definitely a long game type of thing. So, so then, you know, he goes out with Sarah, right?
Yeah.
And
Kenny.
And Kenny. And, you know, the one thing that he said was, he says to Sarah, you know, this is how you can make things right by doing this. And I think that was really kind of cool, that she's trying to get this redemption tour, whether people want her to or not. I totally understand that. I mean, she tells Boyd right before, when they're talking at the police station, do you want me to bury Paula's body? And you look at his face, and he's like, oh shoot, I completely forgot about her. Kind of like, oop, I forgot something.
And Sarah wants some redemption too, I think.
Well,
I think she is a good person.
I think that she's realized that she's not going to die. And, you know, she's not, no matter how much she's trying, she's not dying.
Yeah.
She wants to be part of this. And I think after her talk with Kenny in the police station, she's got a little bit more of a better attitude. In herself, I'm saying. In herself,
it was like a cleansing or something like that. Like
something like that. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but
there was something.
But what I find really interesting is that Sarah actually heard the music box, and she was the only one that heard it.
Yeah.
You know,
so she's still connected somehow to the powers that be.
The powers that be, exactly.
And she's saying, and she just, you know, she had some really crazy things to say, like, you know, she can hear them screaming. Then her nose starts bleeding, and she's got her hands over her ears because something is so loud it hurts. She starts reciting the poem, and she says they are laughing at Boyd, you know, and
Did you notice the little stranger thing going on when she started getting the bloody nose?
Yeah, I try to put those memories out of my mind, though.
I didn't mean to use straight, but I'm just saying she started getting that bloody nose. She started getting physically ill from it.
Yeah,
And-
whatever it was too strong. Like, it was in her head, like, you know,
Right.
and that was the physical reaction. But she says that Randall, Marielle, and Julie are dying,
Right.
and that it's, you know, once they die, it's too late.
Right.
You know, and she's got to do something. They've got to make the music stop, and so he can't see the music box, but she can hear it, but no one else can hear it, which is strange because all along they've all been hearing it.
Well, no, and the funny part is Boyd has been the one that's been hearing it the most. But you know, she says it's laughing at you for bringing it to town.
Yeah,
Which I find, you know, really kind of interesting. And I also find it interesting that now she's the one that's saying that you have to make the music stop. So,
yeah,
you know, I think that they've done a really good job of, you know, tying it back to that first episode in a good way. You know, so that said, we're at a point now where we're going to go back to Colony House because Donna's got to, you know, get everybody calmed down. We're doing all this kind of stuff. And what I find interesting is the first thing she sees is Tilly giving the prayer circle.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's about 15,000 different theories on Tilly.
Yeah.
Is it Victor's mother? Is it Victor's sister? Is it Victor's this? Is she a spy? Is she a this? Is she a that? She could just be a nosy old lady.
If it was his mother, I think he would have known.
Or she would have known.
Wait a minute. They haven't even seen each other, though.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, her being his mother, I realize it's not going to be the same actress, or it could be the same actress, but she just doesn't.
It is not. I know for a fact it's not. It's two different actresses.
No. I know they're two different actresses, but like, it's just there's nothing about her that's reminiscent of Victor's mom, you know.
Except for the fact. I'm sorry. No, I was going to say, except for the fact that maybe he's 47. Ha ha ha! I'm joking. You know.
Oh God, yeah, that would be something. But it would be interesting that she also ended up back there on the same bus with Marielle. So, if anything, I was like, maybe it's his sister.
I don't know.
But the age just doesn't seem right. So why don't we follow Jade all the way through his thread?
Oh, I'm sorry. You want to go to Jade? Okay.
Yeah, let's follow him through his thread. So, you know, we see him on the porch and he seems pretty bummed out, you know, at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And he's talking to Boyd and he's saying, you know, we've got to have two pieces that connect in order to solve this jigsaw puzzle. And I was like, yes, the writers heard me. It is a puzzle show. So I was pretty happy about that. But he's afraid to go even if it makes a difference, you know. Oh, wait a minute. So he's in the bar, like afterwards he's in the bar and he's breaking up all this glass and he's trying to find a pattern. He's trying to find two pieces that fit together in all that chaos. For whatever reason, he keeps going back to the glass. And what I'm thinking is that glass tends to be see-through, right? He's looking at a solution, but he doesn't want to see it. And that's what Tom is telling him. He's saying, you already know what you need to do. You know, instead, you're wasting all this time overthinking it. And he knows, like, he tells Jade, you know, you have to go down into those tunnels, but you're afraid to go down into those tunnels. And you can't blame him, right? So Tom brings up like some of the things that Tom talks about. It's not Tom, like, well, we didn't even know Tom that well, but it more sounds like Jade than it sounds like Tom. You know, like natural design. Nature puts what's most precious in spots that are difficult to reach. So trying to protect something that needs to stay viable, you know?
Right.
So why would, if this symbol is so important, why would it be in some place that's easy to get to? Because even when Jade's seeing it, it's not tangible. It's not like he can pick it up and move it and possess it. It's always a vision, you know, and it's followed by, or it's comes with, you know, someone that's not alive or something like that, something bizarre, you know. And Jade's thought process presents itself because it knows that Jade is avoiding what he knows, and he's doing it out of fear. Like, this is the first time we really see Jade being scared. You know, like when he shows up, he's like, ha ha, I'm in the world's best escape room. And then are you all right?
Yeah, my phone just fell.
Oh, okay.
Just
Then
scared the crap out. It scared the crap out of me. Smiley decided to stop by or something.
Yeah, kind of scared me. And he knows, like, I don't know, like, the more he doesn't know, the
The
more
more
he
deeper he
gets
gets in.
scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love how when he's at the bar, Tom shows up and he just doesn't even recognize, like, he's like, you're dead, right? He's like, yeah. Are you gonna ask me why I'm here? Yeah, you're just probably part of my psychosis, and and moves on.
Yeah.
You know, Jade makes a very good point about the caves, though.
Yeah.
That's a scary, scary thought to go in those caves.
Well, yeah.
And the other thing about the caves, since we've been talking about them, because a couple of things happen there. One is he sees the dummy.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well,
Am I jumping?
Well, yeah, because the thing is that the Tom version of Jade's brain is saying nothing about this place is natural, because what Jade is counting on is that it's almost like in the real world, he's got everything figured out, because everything is very patterned. Like A always goes to B, always goes to C. But in this place, it doesn't actually do that. You put an antenna high up in the sky, you're going to be able to get a signal, right? So the thing is, nothing about this place is familiar. It's telling Jade he has to go back into almost like his genius spot and open himself up and look at this problem anew. Like, his entire life of problem solving and coming up with these brilliant ideas, it's all been things that have stacked on and on and on with things that he could easily solve. This is really a real problem. It's a real puzzle for him. You know, like, I looked it up, but I didn't see anything about the trolley problem, but I did see something about determinism. And so he ends up at the tunnels. Everything's a system, everything's connected, and he goes into the tunnel, and he doesn't get stupid going into the tunnel because he goes in with a string, so he's got his trail of breadcrumbs to get back out.
His bike.
Yeah, I know, rides up on the bike, and you know, he sees the thing that kind of terrifies him. He sees the dummy. And the dummy was at the beginning of the season, and it didn't make a lot of sense. But if you think about it, right, what did he see? He saw the symbol and he saw the dummy together. And here he is. He's looking for the symbol. There's the dummy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say, because I don't know what the hell it all means. So, I mean.
I know.
But what was interesting about that cave scene was there was no monsters. Where the hell are they?
Yeah.
Also,
You remember Victor kept saying to Tabitha, you got to be quiet. You're going to wake him up. You're going to wake him up. He did not go in there quietly. He was just like bull in china shops, smash bang, blah, 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 making
right.
tons of noise. Like I thought it was me for a second.
And like the cages were empty. They had 2 cages that were empty. And then he's looking.
Are you talking about where the kids were?
Yeah, where the kids were.
Okay. Yeah, they were empty.
Right. Oh wait, I just want to post this because Lisa said something that goes along with what we're doing about the trolley problem. It's a series of thought experiments in ethical,
ethics and psychology involving stylized ethical dilemmas of whether to sacrifice one person to save a larger number. It reminded me, like the trolley problem when he said that. It reminded me of that boat problem where you have to get all the like natives from one side of the lake to the other side, but you have to have like 3 people in the boat all the time or something like that, something weird. And I hated that kind of problem. I hated it. I was like, I know there's a solution to this, but I feel too stupid to solve it.
Now, just to go down this rabbit hole a little bit. So Jade's in there, and all of a sudden he hears the yakui, and then the dumbest sound in the world. And next thing you know, he sees 7 bodies. And if you look up, and again, this is a big stretch, so just hear me out. It shows the symbol, right?
But wait a minute, back it up. Remember before he sees the kids, he flashes on the ceiling and there's nothing there. And then he starts hearing Nkui, right?
Okay.
And then he looks up and there's the symbol in like roots.
Well, when you look at the symbol, you can notice a couple of things.
What do we notice?
One is it's 4 branches. Again, I'm you can go on a deep dive with this.
No.
You can also go on a deep dive that the symbol looked like it said 47. The way it was kind of positioned. And if it was a 4, then you got the 7 kids. Still don't know what that means. It just keeps coming up.
Oh, I meant to look up 11 this week and I just did not have a chance. Like I don't want to say I had to go back to work, but like I enjoy going to work. So I was happy to go back to work, but I haven't had like a moment to breathe.
But like I said, I mean, there's a lot of deep dives you can do with that.
Yeah.
And then what's interesting about Jade's story is it just stops. So right now he is in the cave, and that's where they're going to probably pick him up with.
Did you see? Because like he sees that, and then he looks down, and the kids are gone, right? Because it's like there's 7 kids surrounding him on daises, and then when he looks up again, the roof is back. Yeah, it's closed, and it looks like it did the first time he looked. And then we see him, and there was something on the ground, but I don't know what it was. Like
it was like this orange thing.
Yeah, like, was it a ball?
Did you guys pick that up? I know the Promenade probably did. Like the room was empty, and then there was that orange thing that was on the ground, and it could have been the rope. It could have been the rope. Now that you think about it,
oh,
it probably his rope.
It was. He put it down because it was kind of like his end of it was a ball, so that must have been what it was.
Yeah, you know what? Oh, thanks so much for stopping by there. So many shows. They're another podcast that does stuff.
Oh, they're here?
Yeah, they're here.
Oh, Tracy, hi. Hi, Tracy.
So, it was the string. And you know what? Now that as I'm saying it, it makes more sense. But at the time, I was like, what is that orange thing? So, but
exactly.
But that said, like I said, we've got the dolls, we've got 7 kids, we've got the symbol, we've got Nkui. It's like something from a really bad joke. They all walk into a bar. And another question that maybe the listeners have, why were they in that circle? I mean, there's just a whole bunch. I can't see all the comments. Yeah, the reason why, Lisa, is we're on a couple of different platforms. We're on Facebook for personal, as well as we're on Facebook for Podcastica, and then we're on our YouTube feed for us, and then the YouTube feed for Podcastica. So depending on where you're at, where you're watching this, you might not get all the feeds. So I'm sorry, Lisa. It's just one of the quirks of live streaming. But
what was Lisa's question?
No, she just said she can't see all the comments and that she's a newbie. So I'm like, and Lisa, I'm a newbie too. It's like the first time I've done this, so I don't know what I'm doing either. So
the comments. So until you put them up.
Here's a question. I do want to actually kind of throw this out to you. I know I don't want to put a wrench into what your thought process, but what was the purpose of the title Once Upon a Time, you think?
Oh, was that the name of the episode?
That was the name of the title, Once Upon a Time. For
some reason, I thought it was referring to the show Once Upon a Time. So Once Upon a Time in this faraway land. That's what I think. Once upon a time in a faraway land, there was... Because, wait a minute, isn't that how a quest starts? Once upon a time in a faraway land, there was someone that was trying to get home. Because Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm. I get it. I mean, I guess they're trying to play on the last part of the episode, which we're going to talk about when Tabitha potentially gets back to reality.
What the fuck?
We're still not going to talk about that yet, but
yeah, that
and it could be. You're right. It could. Sydney also says it could be a tie into the other show, Once Upon a Time, which he was a part of. So
who? David Alpay?
No, Ian.
Oh, Ian. Yeah. Okay.
Ian was part of that, but
really?
And there's a lot of the same people that are commingling and whatever else.
Okay.
But that said, I do want to get back to Boyd and his quest a little bit.
Yeah,
because
I want to talk about Boyd.
I think after he sees Sarah and Kenny, he has to have a heart-to-heart with himself, and he only loves doing that at the church. And
because you kind of think that you have someone to bounce your ideas off of.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, and I'd love to hear the people that are here's thoughts. If he wins the Emmy, it's because of this speech. I mean, he was fighting with God. And
I always love a good fight with God.
I mean, he was absolutely going at it, and he was trying to make sense of this, and he was cursing, he was doing this, he was doing that. But you know what? The best part of all was when Donna came in and said, hit that mailbox over, could be a federal offense. And I think it's a great way of kind of breaking up the mood of the scene. Because
he implores God to answer him. He's saying, answer me. And that's
she does.
when Donna comes in. That's when Donna comes in, and he has kicked over the mailbox. And I don't know, like, do you dive deep on that and you go to the mailman's creed that nothing stops the mail from getting through? Or do you look at it, the tampering with a mailbox is a federal crime, but he's talking to God and he's begging for an answer? Is the problem not of men? I don't, like, there has to be some symbolism and knocking over that mailbox. I just wish I had had more time to think about that.
Or it could have just been that it was just a good line that Donna could say for her.
But Donna is God's answer.
Donna's always God's answer.
Because he's begging God for an answer.
Lisa,
Donna,
thank you.
Yeah.
It's just comic relief. That's it.
Yeah. He's begging God for an answer, so he sends in Donna. Faith, hope, and love.
Messages. Oh, here's a good one. I like that. Messages come through the mailbox.
That's Tracy for you.
But I'll tell you right now, you might get a message. It doesn't mean you have to like the message. No, but I think that, and what is Donna's message? Donna's message is this. Why don't you just take a break from the end of the world? Go see your son and your future daughter-in-law get married, have some fun for a couple of seconds, and then deal with the end of the world afterwards. So basically the answer was get your house in order before the end of the world.
Well, there was more though, because he's saying that there's got to be rules to this. And I think that is the same thing that Jade was fighting with. That there's a natural order to things, that if you do this, this will happen. It's always going to be that same result. You know what to expect. And, Boyd is not always about following rules, but they are looking for established patterns. Like, established patterns are more a part of nature than, random things. So, but she reminds him that even though you brought all of this back to town, you still gave people more time. By putting it in Smiley, it all could have been over then. But he put it in Smiley and figured out a way to possibly kill those things. So he goes to the wedding. We shed some tears of happiness. And then he barely shakes their hands and congratulates them. And he's like, I'm off.
I believe it's because Ellis had said something in his speech about light and dark. And that's where he got the idea for getting the torch to go back to.
Yeah. It gave him that idea. Yeah. Because he came out of that cavern or wherever he was, light in the dark places. Wherever he was with Martin, he came out of there with that torch.
Right.
So he went back to the tractor trailer and got the torch. And he comes upon Reggie.
Right.
And
again, I'm still not recognizing the fact that he died because he's such an ass.
I never liked him.
And
I never liked him. Or Paula. I
am putting this segment, Reggie's got a gun, like the Aerosmith.
Reggie's got a gun.
So it makes you feel better that you're, from Mass.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Reggie decides after he slits the throat of the guy that we can't remember his name because he's a red shirt. And he's actually been in a couple of episodes holding the gun.
He's been in the entire season.
Exactly. And I feel awful that we can't, and we'll have to try to get him on the podcast just so we can remember his name.
Donna, the thing that makes me mad is Donna said his name.
Donna says his name, and we both are just awful.
Just
and
totally
I'm sorry. And that being said, he slits his wrist. He slits his neck, puts him down, and then, Mattis. Thank you.
Mattis. Okay. All right.
I'm saying Mattis gets his throat slit and whatever. And now Reggie is like out for blood because he thinks that Boyd is the reason why this is all happening.
Yeah.
Because Boyd brought all that back. And, the guy's been here for like 2 seconds.
Yeah. He knows everything. But you know what? He shows up, he ends up shooting Boyd. Boyd gets pissed. Like, he's more pissed than anything else because he messes up his arm. And he's,
He was so pissed.
yeah. And he says, I'm sorry, I always liked you. Reggie says it. And the thing was, the powers that be, the puppet master, knows Boyd is going to rise to the occasion. So he has to throw in, or the puppet master has to throw in obstacles. Reggie wasn't acting on his own volition. Like, I'm sorry, I always liked you. He doesn't even know Boyd. He's been there 2 days. They haven't sat down and had a couple of potato vodkas together, right?
The shootout at the OK Corral.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so it was like he was being forced to kill Boyd in order to stop him from going. Like the puppet master wants everyone to die almost, or he just wants to like stack the odds so far away from, not in Boyd's favor, but he manages to make it. Like, he ends up shooting Reggie twice. Notice how Boyd didn't say, I always liked you.
I don't even know you.
Well, and that's why it just makes me think, like, the puppet master, I always liked you. He's, you know what I mean? Like, I liked watching you. You come in, you start finding stuff, you get the people organized, you give them a sense of hope and meaning, and, like, you establish the rules in this town. Well, but now you're coming for me and I don't like it.
Now I want to go fast. I want to fast forward. So he finally gets into the basement, or whatever we want to call this, the catacombs. And, going along that same lines, he sees everybody, and then Abby shows up again.
Yeah.
And I love how Boyd justifies everything. He's like, wait a second. This entity came all the way down, brought you back just so you can talk to me. Like, and she says something that's really kind of interesting. She's like, it feeds off of your desire of will, not your fear.
Right.
And usually most monsters are all about the fear.
Yeah.
I don't think Abby's Sydney's saying Abby's the worst. I don't think it's really Abby. I think it's whatever this monster is creating. Yeah, it's manifesting
because like the more Abby talks, the more she starts not sounding like Abby. It's not like we got to know her very well, but there's nuances in the way she is speaking, the words that she's using. You can tell that it is not her anymore.
Right.
Like, it shows up. It's the perfect personification of how Boyd views Abby. But the more it senses that Boyd is going to break that box, the more it stops sounding like Abby.
Right. You're gonna make him hurt worse. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. And as Martin said, what did Martin say in the first episode? You have to stop the music.
Yeah, you've got to.
He basically, we all criticize. Oh yeah, no. It is the monster feeling desperate. We can say who threw the rope, who did this, who did that, but I can't wait to do a rewatch from episode 1 all the way back, because we're gonna find hopefully great tidbits of a lot of good foreshadowing.
Oh yeah. There's tons. There is tons, and like the times I've gone back to do research for these episodes, I'm like, oh my God, I have to go back and see more.
So the last real thing that we need to talk about is Victor and Tabitha.
Well, we haven't even finished. We haven't even finished Boyd.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's 11 something at night, and I'm just a little punchy.
Oh my God, it's already 11. We've been at it an hour. All right. So anyway, what ends up happening, Boyd realizes it's not Abby, smashes the box. And then what happens is that Randall, well, wait a minute. While he's down there, he sees Randall, Julie, and Marielle chained to the walls. And so it kind of makes me wonder, were they chained there before? But at any rate, Julie and Marielle, they're screaming, screaming, screaming. And for the first time, Randall can barely utter anything, you know?
Right.
So he decides that he's going to reject everything that the Abby character has said, and he smashes the box.
Right.
When he does that, it frees Randall, Julie, and Marielle.
Right.
Julie comforted by her brother and father. Marielle comforted by Christy, and Randall wakes up alone. And I felt awful about that.
Yeah, that was kind of sad. That was really kind of sad.
He deserves it, but I felt really bad about that. So Boyd gets out of there, and the first thing he sees is the dog. The dog barks and then runs away. And I was just like, Marielle had one hell of a bad detox.
Well, and I'd love to know what the bigger picture with this friggin' dog is.
We'll find out.
I hope so. I mean, I know there's some theories out there, but you know, it'd be just nice to know what all the pieces are. Like you said, you know, having a couple of pages of a book and you don't know what the context is really kind of frustrating. Yeah. But the nice thing is, yeah, and here's another comment, you know.
I agree. I don't feel bad about Randall waking up alone. I was worried about what he's going to do. But I wonder if he'll be in a different frame of mind also. We're not going to find out.
He could be a great asset. He could be a very great asset if he chose to be.
But he doesn't want to.
I'm just saying he wants to be a jerk.
Yeah. Well, there's just something in him that, you know.
No, I get it. No, I totally get it.
His fear is what protects him. So, all right. So let's jump on over to Tabitha. So Tabitha is dealing with Julie, you know, with her husband and Ethan, and Julie's a mess. And, you know, they're screaming. All three are screaming at the same time. And, you know, they're experiencing all this stuff together, like they're in sync with one another. And then Tabitha realizes that she needs to go find the tower because she is thinking about it. And she's like, the whole thing with Victor's mom is that she went to save the kids and never did. And so maybe I keep seeing these kids because I'm supposed to go save them. So she begs Jim to give her permission to go do this. I swear, I just heard jingling out in my living room. I'm here alone. So she begs Jim to let her go do this. And I never really feel like Jim says go.
No, he's terrified because of what happened.
Yeah.
When he tried to kill a spider in the house and the whole place fell into itself.
I saw that too. That was awesome.
No, I mean, you know, he's terrified, and I think he just wants to keep his family. I mean, I know there's been some criticism of Jim, and I get that. I mean, he's kind of like but she was
I love Jim. He's another problem solver, and that's what he was trying to do this season.
No, I get it.
And he had a hard time of it, you know. But I feel like in a show like this, not everyone gets to, I don't know, be the Chromonocle at once.
True.
You know?
But what was interesting about that was they did start talking about the how to solve a problem, and then Victor talks about the bottle tree, and
Yeah.
he brings up one of his pictures.
Yeah, he shows her a picture of the bottle tree, and yeah, because what was it? We already talked about this. Boyd and Sarah saw the bottle tree.
Correct.
Okay, so and because I remember when we first saw it, you could see slips of paper in the bottles.
Correct.
And it makes me wonder, like, Victor takes her to where the bottle tree is, and the bottle tree is near a faraway tree. And
well, it is a faraway tree.
Yeah, so like at first they don't see it, and then you hear the tinkling of the glass, and then it's there. And the thing is, like, he says he found his mother there.
That's something that I think was a very important piece of information, because everybody keeps saying that she's dead, or that she disappeared. She didn't disappear. She died, but he has never revealed that.
She didn't die. I don't think she died. And I'll tell you why later.
Okay, well, tell me.
Why later. So anyway, she goes through the faraway tree. So now everyone in that family but Jim have been in a faraway tree. So Jim needs to experience the faraway tree. And so she goes through the faraway tree. She comes out in some bushes. And I think, like, that was the same faraway tree that both Sarah and Boyd went into. And the thing was, Boyd went to where Martin was, and Sarah went back to the town. So it wasn't their fate to go to the tower. And I think that Tabitha has been marked from the beginning to go to the tower.
Okay.
And like,
but I got to go back to, why do you think his mom isn't dead when he said she died?
I need to go all the way to the end to tell you that.
All right, fine.
Okay. So, but crap, I forgot what I was going to say.
You were talking about Boyd and Tabitha and the mother.
Right. So Tabitha brings up, when she's talking to Jim and trying to convince him to let her go, to give her permission to go, she says, I want to make up for Thomas. Like, she doesn't say that verbatim, but what she's saying, I keep seeing him on the floor. And she wants a do-over. She wants to make up for Thomas, because if she can save those kids, then at least she saved a bunch of kids when she lost her son. So anyway, she climbs the stairs. We see the toys. I wish we see the
rope.
Yep, we see the rope. I wish we had seen the years carved into it. And I think what those years represent is every time someone has climbed those stairs. Like, every time. So she climbs the stairs, she hears the kids, she gets to the top, and she sees the light, and she looks out, and all of a sudden, Boy in White is standing behind her, and he says, I'm sorry. I really am. This is the only way. And he pushes her through the window. And I think what he's saying, this is the only way. This is the only way out of here. Like, I have to push you through this window. It's going to suck, like you're falling from a high tower, right? So she wakes up in the hospital bed, and I'm like, what the fuck? When I see that, she wakes up in the hospital bed, she gets up, and then Dr. Brody comes in and says, 3 days ago, hikers found you in the woods, unconscious on the side of a trail. And then she looks out the window, and she's in a little port town They were in Arizona, and now she's in a little port town.
And they're saying, some people are saying that the reflection is a different person on the window. I have to look back. I didn't see that, but
yeah, I didn't even notice. All I saw was the port town. All right,
looked like a mystic. It looked almost like a Mystic, Connecticut,
like
but it's
Mystic,
not.
Connecticut. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Mystic,
No,
Connecticut.
Mystic isn't a hospital, but I'm just saying it looked
Yeah.
like that type of
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, or Cape Cod or something like that. So here's my thought. Victor found his mom, near the faraway tree. I don't remember if there was a trail there, but what I was thinking is that his mom made it to the top of the tower. The boy pushed her out, but no one found her, so she died. Because he doesn't say what she looked like when he found her. She could have been lying there with a broken neck. She could have, because I mean, Tabitha's got scratches all over her face and stuff like that. So she could have died from exposure, because by the time he finally found her, she was dead. We don't know what happened to the sister. There's no word on that. Maybe the sister got out. Maybe no one was hiking when his mother fell. That's why I think she's alive.
Okay. We'll have
It's
to
a
just wait to
thought.
see. No, I'm saying it's a theory, just like anything else.
Yeah.
I think that I'm just going by what Victor said, and
Yeah.
he said that she was there, so I'm gonna stick with that. And
Yeah, she was there, and he buried her.
right, so.
Yeah. But maybe she was never found. And the thing was, like, the way, I don't know, the way that the boy in white speaks, I'm sorry, I really am. That this is the only way. Like, this is the only way back to the world. I've got to push you out of this high building. That's the only thing I can commit to, I think.
Okay.
I don't know, but man,
I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those. You could go on for days with this stuff. I mean,
yeah,
that's the thing. You really could.
yeah.
Um, what other play? Do you want to go anywhere else, or any other notes?
I think I hit everything I wanted to. The only other thing, and this made me, I really enjoyed this, was when Kenny goes to talk to Christy, and he's trying to comfort her. He knows he's lost in this whole thing, but he says it's hard to see the sweater when you're only just a thread.
Yes, that was a great line.
I loved it. Maybe what we did makes it easier for those that come after us, and maybe they get out of here.
Get out of here.
Like all of humanity has just built on each other. We learn, and all of our knowledge stacks, so that maybe one day, like, we don't have war anymore. We figure out how to get along.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to definitely be interesting. I would love to just know why this collection of people are here. Like, what's the major thread?
Yeah,
I mean, we're not going to find out, but right now, that's the thing that I'm really concerned, and would help me to kind of put a bow on this. But so,
you know what? There was something else. I'm sorry. This was what it was. All of their eyes were glazed over, like when they were possessed. Did you notice the dummy's eyes were glazed?
No, I did not notice.
That was it. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. No, I'm just saying I just didn't notice.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I don't know how I caught it. I think I got lucky, but yeah.
So I know a lot of people have had their thoughts about the season, and I'd love to hear some of the people in the chat as well as you. What's your thoughts of just this whole season, the way it kind of started and finished? Because we've been doing this for 10 Sundays now, and we haven't, you can look at a bird's eye view instead of micro view right now.
Yeah, we've been looking under the microscope. What do you think?
I mean, there's some things that I wish they could have answered better, just because I want to know. I think the biggest problem with today's TV is that we only have 10 episodes.
Yeah.
If we had a couple more.
I think a couple more would be good. I mean, I think one of the great things about streaming is that, all right, so we have 10 episodes versus 22, 26 episodes. But how often did something drag along?
No, I understand. I wish we would have found out more about the monster, whatever this entity is. You
What do
know,
you mean?
like, okay, so it's a music box. They broke the music box, but we still don't know what it is.
Oh,
How is this related
in the bile? Like, it didn't seem like the bile was working.
Right. It's just, and again, I'm not saying it's red herrings. I'm not saying that, and I'm not disappointed in any of what happened.
No.
I'm just saying that I wish they could have given us more. That's all.
I think you're always going to want more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's a criticism. I mean, I think, I'm the only person I really am, and I love the actor Ian Bailey. I'm just having a hard time with him this season. He was just annoying to me. But that's okay. I mean, again, it's like, you're a 9.9. You got to find something kind of thing.
I feel like he was underutilized. I just don't think that his storyline was strong enough.
Speaking of underutilized, I think that they underutilized Bacta. They didn't use her at all. It was like, what's the point?
She came in so strong. Like, Randall was the strongest of the new people. Well, I mean, Randall and Marielle were out in the front, and then I wasn't quite sure what Tilly was doing, because
I still don't know what Tilly's done.
She seemed to show up like a road sign here and there. And I think what it is that Bacta and Tilly are in building season. So they're getting established, and I think that we'll see more from both of them next season, where Randall and Marielle might have a conjoined storyline with Julie next season.
Maybe.
So that could be, so they'll all be off on that. But I mean, in any show, you can only have so many story tracks. But I mean, God, we got so much Victor. It was wonderful. We saw some really agonizing things for Jade, and Tabitha took the spotlight this season. It was Tabitha and Victor.
Well, it was the Victor show.
Yeah. And, Jim was trying to figure his things out. Like, he was in a lot of pain. It was interesting that Ellis heals really quickly from being stabbed. Ethan healed really quickly from being impaled. But Jim was still, a couple days later, he's still kind of like, limping around, like he had just got hurt.
The younger people get the
they heal faster.
They get the healing faster. I just think that in all in all, like Monica said, it kept you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah,
the entire season. No season is perfect, but if you want to put a bow on this, we started at a certain place and we ended on a certain place, and I'm happy. My only question is, where is Tabitha, and is Tabitha actually awake or asleep or dead? We haven't answered that. All we know is that she's in a different place than Frank.
Yeah, and now we know where we're starting next season. But I enjoyed this season a great deal, and I enjoyed going on the fact-finding missions every week. I was pretty annoyed with people like, this show is so slow. And I'm like, you don't get it. If you think it's slow, you don't get it. This is a puzzle show. And I think television has developed so much to the point where they're not wasting time. They're not trying to fill 26 episodes. You have 10 episodes, so we have got to put everything in there. We can't have a wasted scene. There's no throwaway scenes. None.
Right. Well,
You know?
and people were trying to say that there were, but
There
you know,
wasn't.
that wasn't us.
Well,
now-
it was me trying to figure out Tabitha seeing Marielle in the, you know, in the medicine cabinet, and then the next week I'm like, duh.
So,
you know.
I think I'm ready for some feedback. I don't know about you, but I am definitely ready for some feedback.
Okay.
Unless you have anything else.
I am just praying that the writer's strike ends. Like, the Directors Guild settled with AMPTP. I'm praying that the writers settle quickly so that we can get into season 3. That is what.
All right.
I wish for.
Okay. So, you have feedback?
I do, but I don't know what I do.
All right. In the meantime, I can do a couple of pieces.
Oh,
well.
I have it. I have one.
Okay, fine.
I don't know who it comes from, but I know it comes from somebody. You can probably tell me in a second.
It's probably Alma.
No, I don't think it is Alma. I know Alma sent it, but I don't know where it is. And I don't know what. Oh, twist. Mom gets to go home.
Oh, wait, stop. This is from Sydney. She's in the chat.
Oh, yeah, Sydney. Yep. Mom gets to go home and ends up leaving her family behind. That is perfectly dark. I feel bad for Jim because Jim's going to think she's dead or something. Abby needs to shut up and move on. Will Tabitha and Victor's mom now... Well, will Tabitha find Victor's mom now in the real world? I assume Victor's mom was released as well back into the real world. Are the kids who need saving also... I'm in the real world, and the lighthouse was just another step in the journey to saving them? I think so.
All right. I think I got a couple of voicemails. I want to do one first, and then we'll get to one of yours. One is from Steve Brown.
Hello, what WTF is from? This is Steve, and this is for the season finale of season 2. Hey, speaking for the audience, we don't understand anything about what's going on. It's like a jigsaw puzzle where you don't have all the pieces and you don't know what the picture looks like, and you just got to find pieces that connect. Okay, so the they come for 3 is not counting the woman who's dead already. It's counting the 3 that are now screaming, and this screaming is horrifying. Okay, so Sarah's yelling about some entity that Boyd brought back that touched Kenny's arm. And oh man, this is getting interesting. At least the daughter stopped screaming, Tabitha. And now you want to go try to find the tower? Come on. Okay, and now Jade's talking to more dead people. Ooh, dude, just cut that guy's throat. Of course, now is when his flashlight chooses to go out in the tunnel. Creepy dummy again. I just thought, you're right, Donna. They don't have a priest to marry them. And they also don't have a lawyer in case they get divorced. Divorced? The Ankui kids. And they disappear just like that, Jade. She's not going to be calling you sheriff. She's going to be calling you dad. I always get choked up at TV weddings. I don't cry at real weddings, though. Strange. Oh, shootout at the From OK Corral. Reggie just shot Boyd. Boyd shot Reggie. Dead, looks like. Hey, Boyd has quite the conundrum here. His dead wife is telling him, don't smash the music box. Sarah's saying the music's got to stop for everything to end. I don't know. Oh. And now they're screaming again. Thanks, From. Okay, so it looks like smashing the music box woke everybody up, but you know there's going to be another shoe that's going to drop. Come on. Wait, where have we seen that dog before? But Boyd, you really got to get back down and let Christy look at that buckshot, because that's not going to be good for a while. The kid just pushed her out of the... And now she's waking up in a hospital. Okay, they seriously got to renew this show for a season 3 because, man, can't wait to hear this one.
Well, thank you so much, Steve Brown. As always, you never seem to disappoint. Do you have any more feedback with you, or
Me? No.
I thought I had messaged you. I emailed you too.
All right, let me look.
While you're doing that, I'll also play Jody's
Yes.
from the international desk.
Yes.
Hi, Lizzie and Alex. It's Jody from Australia here to watch From Season 2, Episode 10. So, winter has kicked in pretty hard here in Canberra, and I'm in my nest on my couch hitting play for the episode. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I will see you on the other side, hopefully with some good feedback. Okay, guys. Oh my gosh, that was thrilling. Okay, here's my feedback. So we've got 3 people down with cicada comas. I don't think that's going anywhere good. Initially I felt like in the beginning of the episode we really needed to find that music box. Like that was the linchpin. And when Sarah's Looney Tunes started giving us information this time, I was so hoping Boyd could work it out, and he absolutely did. I'm so glad destroying the music box totally worked. It was wonderful. Oh, well done, Boyd. Well done. And when I saw Tom the bartender pop up again behind Jade, I literally said, "What the fuck?" aloud, because I was like, he's back. But no, he wasn't back. Jade was just hallucinating. I just on Jade, I love that he started caring about the people around him, but he hates it at the same time. It's pretty cute. He's trying to save everybody, but also trying to pretend that he only wants to save himself. He's a darling. And to think I hated him in the first episode, that's just exquisite writing and character development, in my opinion. The writers have done such a good job. In this show, what is with these fucking puppets? They creep me out. I love Donna so much. Tampering with a mailbox is a federal crime. She's just the best. And
I found it before you sent it to me, so I have Alma's.
All righty. So why don't we go with Alma's, and then I also message you Lisa as well.
Yep, I saw that. I didn't get that before, but anyway, oh my God, that episode went by super fast. How crazy was that scene with Boyd and Sarah? When all that stuff appeared and the music box was playing, I was totally creeped out. I'm glad Boyd destroyed it. Didn't Martin say that when the music stopped playing that they would be back? I wonder what is coming next for our Frumley. And yay, Tabitha got out. But what now? Oof, so many questions still left unanswered. And so now we wait for next season. Thanks to a great season of podcasting. Oh, thanks, Alma.
Well, Alma was funny because she would message me, "When's the feedback episode? When's the feedback episode?" So she was always like, thank you, Alma, for all that wonderful feedback. I know Lisa had something as well.
Yep. So when Tabitha looked out the hospital window, it looked like she was at a resort like at Disney or Vegas. It really didn't look real.
Right.
The color was off. It looked like a 1980s Dynasty episode. I'm not sure if she's completely out. If she is, then it will be an interesting plot line in season 3 as she tries to find her family. I'm also really interested in seeing what Jade discovers. When he said, "F my life," I laughed out loud. Pretty smart of him to think of using the string. Made me think of the movie Poltergeist. That's what I was trying to think of.
That was a great reference. That was a great reference. Couple little housekeeping things. Folks, it's still poster contest time.
Yeah, you got another week.
We've got about 5 or 6 entries so far. So if you do have an entry, all you have to do is just hit us up on the email and take a picture of it, have it in crayon, and just make it of a scene of From that Victor hasn't drawn. And we're gonna have a star-studded panel of our peers, or not our peers, to take a look at it. And
we actually haven't even asked anybody.
Actually, I have.
Who did you ask?
I asked both Victors.
Oh, okay.
And they're both in.
They're both in?
They're both in, like, fill in. And that other person that we can't really talk about that's involved with the show.
Okay.
That said, we've seen some creative stuff. We've seen some stuff that looks like my daughter was asleep when she made it. And you know what? Every single piece is amazing. And we love every single one of them. What we did last year was, if you go on to our YouTube channel, on the top banner, that's all the pictures that we got from last year. So hopefully we can add more and we can make more of a collage, and hopefully it can just keep growing. That said, we've had a really great run this year. The Fromly has been so good to us, whether it's the actors, the people in production and whatever else, but it's mostly because of the people that are listening. Good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, what we say, people are listening to, and we might not always be right. We might not always get the terms always right, but it's always coming out of the right place, which is, we just love the show.
We love the show.
And that said, if you guys love the show as much as we do, and you want to help support us, and you want some really cool merch, we've got some Fromly t-shirts. We've got some mugs that a couple people have bought that are Fromly. We just put up a rock that says town, and then a flower that says colony house, like they did in episode 3, which was choosing day. So I expect all you people to pick your house, so to speak. And we're going to be adding some more as we go along. But the fact is, we're very thankful for the people that have bought stuff. And hopefully, if you're looking for a good gift for a friend of yours, it all goes back into a podcast. All we're trying to do is just make sure we can keep the lights running, so to speak. And again, I can't stress enough, we've been really trying to, we have a bunch of interviews that are coming up. We're talking to both Victors. They're going to be dropping next week, both little and big Victor. And we're going to sandwich Liz Saunders, Donna in between. And then we've got a couple of others that we're lining up as well that that nobody else has talked to. Like the one for Child Victor, we were literally the first interview he's ever done. And that's not the first time we've done that. We were the first interview that we did with Smiley.
Yeah.
And Jamie. We were the first.
Molly.
And Molly.
And the thing is, like, just because this is the last episode doesn't mean that we're going dark until season 3 comes along. Last year, when we did season 1, we dropped 1 or 2 episodes, or basically they were interviews. We dropped 1 or 2 interviews a month to make sure that there was content, and that, to deepen your interest in the show, help you understand the actors and where they're coming from, and trying to, create their character and just to flesh it out. And it was a lot of fun. I'm so glad we did that. And
I think that what we're trying to do is we're trying to really get behind the actors, and not just this role, but any roles that they do. And I think that that's one thing, you're in the business, so you understand that a little bit better than I do. But you know what? I think it was Michelle Pfeiffer or somebody who said, when I'm not working, I'm unemployed. And, and we just want the best for all these actors. I know we'll probably get, and I know he listens to the podcast, but Bob Mann back on, because he's always great. And hopefully this time technology will work so we can do a post-game wrap up. And then we'll definitely do a pre-game before season 3.
Yeah, we did do a pre-game with him.
It just didn't work. It just didn't
work.
We had technical difficulties a couple times.
It was so much fun.
It was more fun than, it was great. But a couple other things, if you're into supporting the thing, it'll also be in the show notes. We have a thing for Buzzsprout. And like I said, you can always go to our Etsy shop as well.
What do we have for Buzzsprout?
That's our people can donate money to that. It's through our deal. I was going to say next week we have another episode, but we don't, because all of our episodes are done. We're just
over.
Well, we're just chomping at the bit, just like you are, to try to say that there is going to be a season 3. We assuming that there is, just because this writer's strike is really kind of screwed with us. But
It's screwed with everybody.
It's screwing with everybody. I know it's screwing with you personally, and you know, you're a part of the world. So hopefully we can get Atlanta hopping a little bit more, hopefully sooner rather than later.
And Halifax, where the show is filmed, we want that hopping.
And hopefully, you know, Lizzie will be on set, reporting from on set in Canada. Hopefully next
that
year.
would be something.
Yeah, her goal is to be a monster. And what's nice is not a lot of makeup required. She can just have the perfect stuff, and it's great. And me too.
There.
And me too.
Yeah,
so
I'm ready.
you know, between
I'm ready.
I don't need a lot of makeup
ready.
for this face.
Yeah.
But no, again, I just wanted to thank everybody that's been listening this season, because it's been the great season for us.
Really
Our season started in like February, and it seemed like it hasn't ended. I can't wait for next week, because I have a couple edits to do, and we will not be on next Sunday for a live. Sorry guys, as much as I love this, I gotta get a break. But
you know, and the thing is, like, I don't know, it's been enjoyable. Like, you and I go back and forth. This is just like being on the phone with us. Like, the last couple of days, I've barely spoken to Alex, and I think because I've been working, but it's unusual. Alex and I talk multiple times a day. I can't even say several.
Yeah, no, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I just hang up with him, and one of us is calling the other one back
for something stupid. And like I said,
I don't call you stupid.
I didn't say. I said for something stupid.
Oh, for something stupid. I was like, I would never say that.
No, not to my face.
But I mean, basically, if you hear us on the podcast, this is what we sound like, going back and forth, and we managed to get a lot done.
Despite all of that. But again, I just want to thank everybody. You guys have been great. And we're going to be dropping a couple of interviews. We probably have a couple of more coming up monthly. And, you know, do me a favor.
We have some great ones. Like, Alex and I have been doing the work to
really try to get these guys. And
there's
please,
one in particular I'm excited about.
We really want that fan art. We really want to be able to post it. And we got some really cool prizes, and I know we're still working on some more. And hopefully MGM will try to see that we're doing this, and they'll actually not just give us what's behind me, but give us the new talismans with the gummy worms and everything.
All that stuff. And the thing is, like, there is nothing I love more than having a contest and giving out prizes. I fucking love doing that. So please send in your picture. One of the questions or the fears that I get from a lot of people are like, I can't draw. Dude, you the more childlike, the better. Like, it is crayon. How, you know, like, not everyone draws well in crayon, and we don't care. Just draw something. I think it's more about the topic than anything else. We're not going to be looking at your color composition and whether or not you colored in the lines.
I do want to address this one from Monica. I know we're kind of going back, but she's like, I still don't know if they can sleep yet. I'm exhausted.
Oh my God. Yes, that's right. Can they sleep?
Well, I'm assuming they can, since they got the bad guys. They killed the music box.
Yeah.
But I guess we're just gonna have to find out. I mean,
and the cicadas.
Cicadas.
I swear it's like the Boston Brahmin. The cicadas.
So anyway, what I guess we'll do, since we're done with the show, we're gonna let our favorite guy Ian take us out, because
he is our favorite.
The bell is ringing. You better go home. See you guys on the other side. 1, 2.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
See ya.
Get you home. Let's go. Come on, get in your house. Let's go. Come on.